implications of the gospel. We're talking about holistic healing for everything. Same God who healed people, calmed the storms, and took our sins to the cross, died, and rose again. This is one the Christian worldview believes in. But in the reality of today, people still get sick and die, begging out for God to heal them. Storms come along and trees fall and crush people's homes and possessions, if not kill them, because the tree falls on their head. It seems like somewhere we've lost something. Somewhere something has gotten lost. But the hope of the cross to bring restoration in the mission of God, the reality of God, to bring hope, restoration, healing to us, just isn't happening. Did it get lost? Or is it a greater reality that's just always going to be out of our grasp? Is it something that we cannot fully experience until the marriage supper of the Lamb, when the eschatological age comes to its fullness, and we experience it? That seems to be the only answer I can come up with. But the hope that the Gospels bring, the hope the New Testament portrays of Jesus, just isn't happening at times. And I think the problem with evil is something that will always exist, will philosophically and theologically remain a paradox, especially for the Christian worldview. Because in the real world, not the real world per se, but within modernity, within the modern age, even if we want to go postmodern, we can go that. In this age, following post-enlightenment, the most spiritual people will get will be karma. That's the center of every ideology we have in Western culture, is karma. What? That somehow there is some fate guiding us, some greater power guiding us, and that what we put into life will end up coming back to us. Essentially, that's what many people will believe. When you do a good job, you'll hopefully at least be able to keep your job and maybe should get a promotion. But that doesn't always happen. If you use your finances right, you'll be able to have a healthy financial lifestyle. If you invest correctly, you'll be able to retire. And the same true if you're a lazy ass, then you'll never have anything. Of course, that whole idea of karma, basically an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. What we do is what we get back. And when we look at the deeper meaning of that, that can come back to haunt us. When? Because that's where the problem of evil comes to reality. Is that evil exists because we are evil. Because we do rotten things to people and are totally deprived. Karma sends that right back at us and says, and throws us all sorts of garbage that our lives experience. That's essentially what philosophically happens. The idea of grace in the kingdom of God is to counter this and say, despite our evil, there's something greater that's going to not only counter that, but override it, giving us the hope and restoration that the mission of God is supposed to bring. But somehow, that is not coming to fullness. What can we do? I mean, theologically, I can't answer that. No book can answer that. That we have this hope in the cross and in the resurrection and in the mission of God. That we will be restored. That we will experience holistic healing by God. But in this age, it's not going to happen. The problem is, you can say, yeah, it'll happen in heaven. Whoop-de-doo, God came here. God came here to restore us. He isn't bringing us up there to restore us. If he would have, he wouldn't have come here in the first place, probably. came down to us to meet us in our greatest need. But our greatest need still remains. And I mean, I don't think anybody can disagree with that. Our greatest need for hope and restoration and healing will not be met in this lifetime. And rightfully or wrongfully so, the problem of evil and the gospel are going to remain a paradox until the marriage supper of the Lamb. It's as simple as that.